أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قول والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. As we are continuing our discussion on Surah Al-Hud today, Bismillah, we have come complete up to ayah number 53, and inshallah we'll be starting with 54. We're in the story, we covered the story of Nuh alayhi salam yesterday, and we're going to be, we started the story of Hud, and we're going to continue that inshallah. But I want you guys to focus on some of the words that are being used that are kind of the oft recurring pattern of the surah, and even linguistically, even if you don't know the language, you can still pick up on some of the similarities that are coming up in these ayat. And so the first aspect is each messenger that is given, that's brought forward, right? They mention that bibayinatin, right? Jitana bibayinatin, we came with clarity, with proof. And then or birahmatin, or and with mercy, and this idea of clarity and mercy that's being brought by these messengers, or to these messengers, let's say. And then the second aspect of it is the I guess istaghfaru, and to make istighfar and to make tawbah, right? And that's being really critically highlighted in this surah, to show that each nation, the things that they went through, it was literally the same thing, and we'll see further evidence of that as we continue to today's portion, inshallah. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. إن نقول إلا عطرك بعد آلهتنا بسوء. So in ayah number 54, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, we do not expect that some of our gods have subjected you to some evil. Right? In naqul, so these are the people of Hud, that are saying this. Actually, let's go back to 53 because it's a continuation of that statement. قالوا يا هود ما جئتنا ببينة وما نحن بتاركي آلهتنا عن قولك وما نحن لك بمؤمنين. And they said to Hud alayhi salam, "O Hud, you're not bringing us any proofs, and we're not going to leave our gods, and we will never, never believe in you." And so this is the level of arrogance that these people had. And then they continue to say, إِن نَقُولُ إِلَّا عَطَرَكَ بَعْدُ آلِهَتِي بِسُوءٍ. We do not say except that some of our gods have subjected you to some evil. I'tara is like some type of a sickness, and it's like it drives you crazy. It's like maybe like you're possessed almost, right? And so what they're saying is maybe because of all the things that you're saying, you've actually been possessed, and that's why with something evil, bisu. قال إني أشهد الله, and he's responding to him, certainly I testify, I make witness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, واشهدوا أني بريء مما تشركون, and I have nothing to do, and I witness, and you be my witness, and that I have nothing to do with you, بريء مما تشركون, with you and whatever you have taken other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or whatever you have taken as false idols. من دونه, other than him. فكيدوني جميعا. So plan against me, plot against me altogether. ثم لا تنذرون, and don't give me any extra time. And this was, we saw this in Surah Yunus previously, and this was what Nuh alayhi salam had said to his people. Right? Go ahead, bring your best game plan forward. Fakiduni jami'an, all of you, not just one, just everyone get together and try and see what happens. Inni tawakkaltu ala Allah, I place my trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rabbi wa rabbikum, my Lord and your Lord. My Lord and your Lord. Ma min dabbatin illa huwa akhidhun binasiyatiha. There is absolutely no creature, There's not a single creature that but he has it by its forehead. And what does it mean? آخذ بناصيتها. That he has it, like he has a hold of it by its forehead. Meaning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala possesses everything for that creature. So he basically is controlling that by his forehead, meaning wherever the forehead goes, wherever the head goes, the rest of the body will go to. So he is in control of every single creature. Inna Rabbi ala siratim mustaqim. Surely my Lord is on a straight path. Meaning my master can only be found upon a straight path. فَإِن تَوَلَّوْا. And if you turn away, أَبَلَغْتُكُمْ مَا أُرْسِلْتُ بِهِ إِلَيْكُمْ. I have already conveyed to you مَا أُرْسِلْتُ بِهِ. Whatever was conveyed to me, whatever I was sent to you with, I have conveyed it to you. وَيَسْتَخْلِفُ رَبِّي قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ وَلَا تَضُرُّنَهُ شَيْئًا. And my Lord will replace you. Istikhlaf, to take one and to leave behind another nation, right? To remove something and to leave behind another nation. يَسْتَخْلِفُ رَبِّي قَوْمًا, and he will replace you with another nation, وَلَا تَضُرُّنَهُ شَيْئًا, and you cannot do any harm. While you guys cannot do any harm. Inna Rabbi ala kulli shay'in hafiz. And indeed, surely my Lord, my Rabb, he is a guardian over everything. He is a guardian over everything. وَلَمَّا جَاءَ أَمْرُنَا نَجِّينَا هُودًا. And when our command came, and when that time came, نَجَّيْنَا هُودًا, we saved Hud alayhi salam. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مَعَهُ, and those who believed in him, birahmatin, with our mercy. So when the final commandment came, when the punishment came, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, we saved we saved Hud alayhi salam and the ones who believed out of our special mercy. Birahmatin minna. وَنَجَّيْنَاهُمْ مِنْ عَذَابٍ غَلِيظٍ, and we saved them from a very heavy, intense punishment. Right? And so again, this second of the three stories is coming to a conclusion in this surah now, and we see the same kind of chronology of events. Right, the messenger came, he was sincere to the people, and he was really trying to convey it, and he was denied or rejected, and then the punishment came, and the messenger and his followers were saved. وَتِلْكَ عَادٌ, and that was the tribe of Ad. And it's interesting where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also mentioning, saying, and that basically was what happened, right? جَهَدُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ, and they rejected, or they fought against the signs of their Lord. وَعَصُوا رَسُولَهُ, and they disobeyed their messenger. وَاتَّبَعُوا أَمْرَ كُلِّ جَبَّارٍ عَنِيدٍ, and they followed they obeyed, they made sure to follow كُلِّ جَبَّارٍ عَنِيدٍ, the whatever the tyrant that was opposed to the truth would say. Right? Anid is somebody who can't stand the truth, somebody who's just completely opposed to whatever would be correct, and so they would always try to side with him. وَأُتْبِعُوا فِي هَذِهِ الدُّنْيَا لَعْنَةً وَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. And so atba'a is the normal form, right? And so and a curse was made to follow. أُتْبِعُوا فِي هَذِهِ الدُّنْيا, and in this world a curse, لَعْنَةً وَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ, and the day of standing and the day of judgment. So a curse was made to follow them in this world and in the day of judgment. أَلَا إِنَّ عَادًا كَفَرُوا رَبَّهُمْ. Beware, or you had better known, the people of Ad, they denied or they disbelieved their Lord. أَلَا بُعْدًا لِعَادٍ قَوْمِ هُودٍ, and be aware, or you have better known that away with the people of Ad, away with Ad, the people of Hud alayhi salam. And again, this is the same terminology. Bu'da li'adin qawmi Hud. Bu'da is like that curse, like just annihilated. These people are just gone. وَإِلَى ثَمُودَ أَخَاهُمْ صَالِحٌ. And to the people of Samud, the people of Thamud, their brother Salih, meaning we sent their brother Salih. قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ اُعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مَا لَكُم مِّنْ إِلَٰهٍ غَيْرُهُ. And he said to his people, O my people, worship Allah. So now we're seeing the third of the case studies that are being put forward for us. مَا لَكُم مِّنْ إِلَٰهٍ غَيْرُهُ. There is absolutely no God other than him. So worship, O my people, worship Allah. You have no God other than Him. Huwa ansha'akum min al-ard. He is the one who created you from this earth. Ansha'a, to mold and to fashion you, right? Wasta'marakum fiha, and then He made you settle therein. And that the idea is to leave somebody for a long time and to allow them to settle for generations and generations. So that all of that is captured in wasta'marakum. And it's the root letters are Umar, Ain Mim Ra, like Umar. So he allowed you to establish in it basically. فَاسْتَغْفِرُوهُ ثُمَّ تُوبُوا إِلَيْهِ. So seek his forgiveness. Seek his forgiveness. ثُمَّ تُوبُوا إِلَيْهِ. Then turn to him in repentance. Inna Rabbi qareebun mujib. Certainly my Lord is near in responding. My Lord is close and he is ready to respond. He will respond immediately. قالوا يا صالح. And the people, they replied to Salih, قد كنت فينا مرجوا. And this is a really interesting phrase that they said at that time, and often we hear today in today's time as well. قد كنت فينا مرجوا. It's saying we had put so much hope in you, Salih. Right? You were the brightest of the brightest. You could have been anything you wanted. And you chose, you're choosing the path of the deen. You're choosing to go in this direction. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala captured that phenomenon that occurred in that time. And amazingly so, it's something that if somebody today says, hey, when I grow up, I want to become a scholar, I want to become an imam. It's like, what are you trying to do with your life? How are you going to make a living? Right? That's the connotation that comes with that. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying this isn't even the first time. We're not the first type people, especially predominantly within the Indo-Pak culture, that this is common in. Right? So they said the same thing to Saleh. We had so much hope in you before this. قبل هذا, before this. أتنهانا أن نعبد ما يعبد آباؤنا. Do you ask us to not worship what our forefathers worship? Is that what you're saying? Because to them, everything that their forefathers did, they wanted to follow that to the T. وَإِنَّنَا لَفِي شَكٍّ مِّمَّا تَدْعُونَ إِلَيْهِ مُرِيبٍ. And we have certainly are like just dumbfounded in doubt about what you're calling to us to. Like شَكٍّ مِّمَّا تَعْدُونَ. Like we have no idea. What is this? There's so much ambiguity. Whereas the message was very clear, right? All my people, worship Allah. You have no God other than Him. And to convolute the discussion, they're saying it like it was some like very abstract form of worship that was being asked of. وَإِنَّنَا لَفِي شَكٍّ مِّمَّا تَدْعُونَ إِلَيْهِ مُرِيبٍ. قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ أَرَأَيْتُمْ إِن كُنْتَ عَلَى بَيِّنَةٍ مِّن رَبِّي. And now Salih alayhi salam, he's responding to his people, oh my Lord, do you tell me do you see me that I am on a clear path? أَرَأَيْتُمْ, you see, in kuntu ala bayinatin, that I am on a clear path. And again, this idea of bayinatin is key, as I mentioned, right? وَآتَانِي مِنْهُ رَحْمَةً. And He has bestowed mercy upon me from rahmatan. Atani minhu rahmatan, and He has bestowed mercy upon me. And so this idea of bayinah and mercy being given to the messengers. فَمَن يَنْصُرُنِي مِنَ اللَّهِ إِنْ عَصَيْتُهُ. And then who will come to help me against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if I disobey Him? In عَصَيْتُهُ, if I disobey Him, then I will be of the biggest losers. right? So Salih alayhi salam, again, the same message is being conveyed. The same, and to the point, the verbiage is even the same, pretty much the same. فما تزيدونني غير تخسيرين تخسير. Yep. And so you add, you're adding to me absolutely nothing except loss. خسران and mubin, like clear loss, right? تخسير is just like that's all you're adding for me, and I don't want to do anything with that additional loss, basically. وَيَا قَوْمِ هَذِهِ نَاقَةُ اللَّهِ. And so the test of these people was that there was a she camel, right? There was a she camel that was going to be given to them. So the people of Thamud, for them, their test was that there was a she camel that was going to be given to them, and they had to make sure naqatullah. هذه ناقة. This is a she camel of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Lakum ayat. This is a sign for you. فَذَرُوهَا. So leave her free. Leave her free. تَأْكُلْ فِي أَرْضِ اللَّهِ. To eat from the earth of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's interesting where even if to show that even if the she camel was to be in your garden, in your backyard, it's still Allah's land. You can't say that does not belong to God, right? So let it be, let it eat from that. وَلَا تَمُسُّهَا. And do not touch her. بِسُوءٍ. With evil, with any type of intention, with evil intention. فَيَأْخُذَكُمْ عَذَابٌ قَرِيبٌ. Lest a punishment should seize you. If you touch it, a punishment will seize you. It was a direct correlation that was drawn. Right, so this she camel was provided as a sign for these people, and the warning was that if you touch the camel, there will be a severe punishment upon you. فَعَقَرُوهَا. And they slaughtered her. And aqara, the idea is not just to slaughter, but to do it in a very ruthless manner. فَقَالَ تَمَتَّعُوا فِي دَارِكُمْ ثَلَاثَ أَيَّامٍ. And so he Salih alayhi salam, he said to his people, tamatta'a, enjoy, chill, relax in your homes, in your homes for thalathat ayyam, for 3 days. So basically he's giving them a timeline of 3 days. ذَلِكَ وَعْدٌ غَيْرُ مَكْذُوبٍ. And that is a promise that is not going to be false. That is not going to be false, meaning that it's going to come true. It's gonna happen. So he's given them their ultimatum. You have 3 days to live, basically. So enjoy that time then. فَلَمَّا جَاءَ أَمْرُنَا نَجِّنَا صَالِحًا. And so when our command came to fruition, نَجِّنَا صَالِحًا, we saved Salih. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مَعَهُ. And the ones who believe with him, بِرَحْمَةٍ, from بِرَحْمَةٍ مِنَّا, from a special mercy from us. وَمِنْ خِزْيِ يَوْمِئِذٍ. From that disgrace of that day. From the disgrace of that day, meaning the punishment of that day. إِنَّ رَبَّكَ هُوَ الْقَوِيُّ الْعَزِيزُ. And surely your Lord, he is Al-Qawi, the powerful, and Al-Aziz, the mighty. And so again, to reiterate that point of it happening again and again and again, the same story. And this was when it was being recited upon to the Quraysh, they also caught that the same story was just being mentioned over and over again, right? But it's not the same story. These are narrations that are years apart, that are given to different nations, different generations, but yet the result's the same. So why are you thinking, you being the Quraysh, thinking that at this point the result is going to be any different? If you disobey the messenger, what makes you think that all of a sudden things are going to be different? وَأَخَذَ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا الصَّيْحَةَ. And those who transgressed, the ones who were oppressive, right? What happened? الصَّيْحَةُ, a loud cry, it took them. Remember what the punishment was? If you harm the she camel, you will be taken. And so what took them? الصَّيْحَةُ. فَأَصْبَحُوا فِي دِيَارِهِمْ جَاثِمِينَ. And they were found dead in their homes. So there was just a loud scream, a loud noise that had come, and جَاثِمِينَ is just motionless, dead, turned all over the place. They were found like that in their homes. كَأَن لَّمْ يَغْنُوا فِيهَا. As though they had never lived there. And يَغْنُوا فِيهَا, it's like the idea was in this luxurious town, in these nice homes that looked so pleasant and desirable, right? they never spent any time in it. Meaning it was left in a blink of an eye. ألا إن ثمود كفروا ربهم. And you had better known, the people of Samud, they were ungrateful to their Lord, or they denied their Lord. ألا بعد لثمود. And you had better known that curse be upon the people of Thamud. Away with the people of Thamud. Right? Again, we see these order of scenario happening over and over again. And so these three messengers that were mentioned, these were pre-Abrahamic messengers, meaning pre the time of Ibrahim alayhi salam. And now the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam is going to be mentioned, and then other messengers after Ibrahim alayhi salam are going to be mentioned. So it's in almost, well, it is in a chronological order as we're reading, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is kind of giving a very quick overview of the history of a few selected messengers that he wanted to highlight. وَلَقَدْ جَاءَتْ رُسُلُنَا إِبْرَاهِيمَ. And so now we turn our story to Ibrahim alayhi salam, and our messengers came to Ibrahim, right? And so we know from the Tafsir that these are three angels who came to Ibrahim alayhi salam. Bil bushra qalu salam, and they came with good news, right? These three individuals, or three messengers, or three angels in the form of humans, they came to Ibrahim alayhi salam with good news, and they said salam. قال سلام, and he responded to their salam with salam. فما لبث أن جاء بعجل حنيذ. And then he made no delay. Labitha, remember we said, was a duration of time, a long duration of time. Ma labitha, he made absolutely no delay, right? He didn't spare any time. And ja'a bi'ijlin hanith, to bring a roasted calf. And when I was going through this ayah, 69 and 70, the amount of commentary that was in Ma'arif al-Quran from the benefits that have been taken from these ayah about how to welcome guests or how to be a good host. It's amazing. Like they just pages written about the adab of just saying salam, the adab of making sure to invite your hosts to a welcoming environment, to entertain them, to making sure to make giving them food, to giving them a experience that they would be enjoying of, right? And again, not to get into all of those, but there was so much that was written about that just from these two ayahs. فَلَمَّا رَأَى أَيْدِيَهُمْ لَا تَصِلُ إِلَيْهِ لَا تَصِلُ إِلَيْهِ. And when he saw that their hands are not reaching for it, he saw that their hands are not reaching for it. And again, it's not like he served up the silver platter in front of them and then he was just like just staring at them. No, he was enjoying with them, but in a subtle way he noticed that they're not taking and eating from this food. And now also to give some to background to this as well, back in the day, there would be people who would hire assassins to kill someone. And even these assassins, as horrible as they are, they had an honor code. And their honor code was that if they ate your food, they couldn't kill you. If they ate your food, they couldn't kill you. And so when these three unknown individuals came to the house of Ibrahim alayhi salam, of course, he was being as warm of a welcome as he could. He was giving as warm of a welcome as he could. And then, something caught his eye that, as he's entertaining his guests, they're not really eating his food. And so, nakirahum. And so he found that strange. He found that a little bit strange. Something's not right, right? And so, and you can just imagine what's going through his head. وَأَوْجَسَ مِنْهُ خِيفَةً. And just the description that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is basically providing us with what's going on in the head of Ibrahim alayhi salam, right? وَأَوْجَسَ مِنْهُمْ خِيفَةً. And he felt a bit frightened from them. And أَوْجَسَ is like a hidden fear. So it's not something that you visibly express or say. And the reason this khawf is awjasa is happening min khifa, and as Allah subhanahu explains, even that this fear develops due to an external sign, right? The fact that he didn't see his fellow visitors eating, he started to speculate something weird is going on. And again, he's not visibly showing any sign of distress, but all of this is going in his head. قالوا لا تخف. And they said, don't worry. They said, don't worry. And again, these are angels. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them to say that. There was no way that they would have known that Ibrahim alayhi salam would be worried in the first place. Inna ursilna ila qawmi Lut. We have been sent. We have been sent to the nation of Lut alayhi salam. So we came to kill, to assassinate, but it wasn't you. It's the people of the nation of Lut alayhi salam. وَامْرَأَتُهُ قَائِمَةٌ. And his wife who was standing nearby. وَامْرَأَتُهُ قَائِمَةٌ. His wife who was standing nearby. فَضَحِكَتْ. She laughed. She laughed. And there's a lot of commentary about in the tafasir about why she laughed, whether it was because she realized that these were angels, or she realized that finally that the people of Lut alayhi salam, the Qawm Lut, who have been practicing such a hideous act, they are finally going to be annihilated, right? But in any case, she was standing somewhere in a hearing distance, and she let out a laugh. And at that, فَبَشَّرْنَاهَا بِإِسْحَاقَ. And she laughed, so we gave her the good news. فَبَشَّرْنَا, we meaning the three, the visitors, the messengers, they gave her a good news of Ishaq alayhi salam. So this is the wife of Ibrahim alayhi salam here being mentioned is Sarah, anha, right? So Sarah alayhi salam, sorry, she was standing nearby, and so she got this news of Ishaq alayhi salam, right? وَمِن وَرَاءِ إِسْحَاقَ وَيَعْقُوبَ. And so we gave her the good news about Ishaq and Yaqub after Ishaq. So in one sitting, Ibrahim alayhi salam and his wife Sarah, they get the good news of a son and a grandson of Yaqub alayhi salam as well, right? قالت, and so now she comes and she says, Ya waylata, right? Ya waylata. And the best way to express this is like, Hay Allah, like, oh my God, right? That and it's in English you would say like, woe unto me, or this, but literally that's expression of sigh or grief, like, oh my goodness, that is essentially what she did. Alidu, like, shall I give birth? Alidu wa ana ajuz. I am such an old woman, right? I have gray hair. I'm this old. Wa hadha ba'li shaykhan. And like this, my husband, he's shaykh. He's an old man. Inna hadha la shay'un ajib. This is something very, very weird, right? This is like, what's going on here? قالوا أتعجبين من أمر الله. And they said, are you going to marvel at the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So we see how animated Hazrat Sarah is in here, where she's really like, mind blown when she hears this news, and she's trying to verify like what's going on here. And these angels, they tell her that, are you going to marvel at the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu alaykum ahlal bayt. And Allah's mercy and his blessings are upon you, the people of the house. And so you see these, the messengers came, they kind of delivered the message. And when we, the precursor to this is like when we say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, right? So they're basically taking their exit by saying rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu alaykum ahlal bayt, and the people of the house, i.e., Sarah, Ibrahim alayhi salam, and the children that are to come. Innahu hamidun majid. Surely he is praiseworthy and glorious. فَلَمَّا ذَهَبَ عَنْ إِبْرَاهِيمَ. And when an Ibrahim ar-raw', and when ar-raw', another type of fear, which is like that nervous, like that shocking type of fear, that has left Ibrahim, right? وَجَاءَتْهُ al-bushra, from the happy news, and the happy news came to him. يُجَادِلُنَا فِي قَوْمِ لُوط. He started pleading, right? So now he comes back to his senses. He realizes what's going on, and that these messengers have come and they've given him some good news, and now he's not, as apprehensive anymore. But now he's يُجَادِلُكَ فِي قَوْمِ لُوط. He starts to show a concern. He starts pleading before them, for the people of Lut alayhi salam. And he's almost like, even though that nation is not under him, right? He's making a case for them. Are you sure this and that? But and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala highlights, inna Ibrahima lahalimun awwahum munib. The characteristics of Ibrahim alayhi salam that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala highlighting in huwa Ibrahim lahalimun. He is forbearing. He's just so wanting to take care of them. Awahun, so soft-hearted, very, very emotional. And we see the du'as of Ibrahim alayhi salam, they're like, he's almost always sighing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as he's making those du'as. Munib, he is ever turning. He's oft returning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I mean, that he always feels that he wants to come closer and closer with each step of the way. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses Ibrahim alayhi salam in the next ayah, and he says, Ya Ibrahim, a'arid an haza. A'arid an haza. Ibrahim, just leave this be. This is not your matter, kind of thing. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is kind of like helping him away from the situation. Innahu qad ja'a amru rabbik. Certainly, the command of your Lord has already come. The punishment has already been established. وَإِنَّهُمْ آتِيهُمْ عَذَابٌ غَيْرُ مَرْدُودٌ. And this punishment there is not going to be turned back. This punishment, غَيْرُ مَرْدُودٌ, it's not going to be turned back. And again, we see the love that Ibrahim alayhi salam had for the nation, for a nation that's not even his, but he wanted them to be protected as well. So we'll conclude here, inshallah. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.